All right. Hey, everybody, and welcome back to Misfit Corner Scams. This is the Knows Andrew speaking, and we are live. Just checking to make sure the audio's coming through okay, and we look like we're great. Fantastic. Hope everybody out there is doing well this evening. It is, of course, Saturday night, my favorite night of the week. I'm so glad to be with you all here today. Let me just get over to the chat and see who all's here. Oh, we got a lot of chat going on. Let me increase the size of my screen so I can actually read what we've got here, and we'll go back to the beginning and see who all's here. The two of us, of course, is here. We say, "Hey, Drew, the two are in the chat." Well, fantastic. Welcome to the show. Tim's here. Tim says, "Good evening, all from the bitter cold Henderson, Kentucky." Oh boy, we're actually supposed to get here in Jacksonville a hard freeze tonight where it drops below 35 for a long period of time. So not looking forward to that. But tomorrow should be a cold day, but I'll survive. The two of us says, too cold. Absolutely. Way too cold. Bernie B's here, says, "Good evening. Welcome to the show." BB's here, says, "Hey, everyone. Hope you all are keeping warm." Not too bad. Actually, it was pretty funny. My daughter came by the store today, and we were talking about the cold, and she's looking at me, and she goes, "Dad, why are you wearing shorts?" And I said, "Because that's just the way it goes." Shorts in cold weather. You gotta have the flexibility of the knees. The knees have got to be flexible, you know? Yes, I know. You guys know I'm an idiot, right? So, good job. Glass Bottles here says, "Hey, hello, E&E. Welcome to the show. The two of us says, hey to BB. Says, "So say we both." Bernie B says, 57 here in Long Beach, California. Oh, nice. 57 sounds fantastic. I think it's in the mid 60s most of the day today, but I think it's dipping very quickly. So Jim says, "Good evening, all, and happy Saturday." Welcome to the show, Jim. BB says, 12 degrees here in Ohio with it feels like temperature of -11. Ooh, that's damn cold. I'm sure there's a couple people here that could probably beat that, but that's dang cold. Tim says, I've stayed in almost all week. I got up to 30 degrees Fahrenheit on Wednesday, so I grilled me a steak. Now it's at 10 degrees. I hope the steak was good. Jim says, "We had 2 snowstorms this week, one Monday and Friday, got no more than an inch." Oh, okay. Well, an inch doesn't sound too bad for a guy who doesn't see snow ever, you know. Sarah's here. Hey, Sarah, how's it going? Good evening. Happy Saturday. It's 15 degrees in Connecticut. Very cold. Tim says, "If we hit 50 by Thursday, I'm cooking something on the pallet grill." Oh, nice. Steak's always good. Steak is always good. BB says, "Hey to the two of us." Manuel's here. Welcome, sir. Says, "Good evening and happy Saturday, my friend Drew." Well, welcome to the show. Sarah says, "BB, how is your finger?" Yes, please let us know. David says, "Hey." Berth says, "Hi, one and all. Welcome. Clark's here. Clark's in the house. He says, "Hey, Drew." Welcome, Clark. Manuel says, "BB, happy Saturday." BB says, "Hey to Manuel." The two of us says, "We say our usual nonsense." Yeah, absolutely. Jim says, "Good evening to Manuel." Manuel says, "Clark, happy Saturday." Glenn's here. Hey, Glenn, how's it going? Says, "Greetings. Welcome to the show." Manuel says, "Good evening to Jim." Clark says, "Hello to Manuel." Manuel says, we are having cold weather last week, and we have a hard cold weather for 2 days." See, we're lucky in the fact that we'll get the freezing, the overnight freezing, and it may last 2-3 days, maybe at the most. And this really cold weather will only last maybe 7 to 10 days, and then we'll be in spring. So it doesn't last very long here. So we just have to power through it. So that's one of the advantages of living in Florida. And you all are welcome. Come to Florida. We love it. Berth says, "We got a whopping 18 today." See, we never see numbers like that. Well, actually, I shouldn't say that because I think we're supposed to get down to the 20s at some point, either tonight or tomorrow night, the mid 20s. I'm not going to experience I'll be inside the house, but outside, cold. Sarah says, "My son's wears shorts in the winter." Well, I wear shorts all the only time I wear jeans nowadays is when I have to go into the office, and luckily, I don't have to do that often. We're supposed to do it every week, a couple of times a week, but I'm just like, "What are you gonna do, fire me?" They already have my resume. They already have my notice, so if they fire me, it'll only just speed things up. So but no, I'm not a big jeans wear, pants wear, but I will when I have to go into the office. Actually, there was one day I think that was not this past week, but the week before, I went into the office for a bit and had a pair of jeans on, and I wore them again the next day, just simply because I didn't do anything. That was the most I wore jeans in months. Andy says, Drew, I got a scam call yesterday. I told him to spell Texas, but he couldn't spell the state, and he hung up on me. Fantastic. I love the idea of asking them to spell it when they tell you they're living in the U.S. Spell the city. Spell the state. Spell it. Right ahead. I've done that twice, and so far, Ohio could not be spelled, and the other person was able to spell Tampa. But I think they just got lucky, to be honest with you. But it's such a good one. Emmanuel says, good evening to Sarah. Emmanuel says, Andy, happy Saturday. David says, I see people here dressed like they're ready to go to the beach and no jacket in -0 degrees weather. Oh boy, even that, for me, that's pushing it. You know, I'd probably have on jeans and a sweater, maybe. Emmanuel says, David, happy Saturday. The two of us we say, yeah, we got a call from the free everything card. Ours is green and white, and so we were told. Ha, ha, ha. Very good. Christina's here. Christina says, hi, just think if you were further north, you could get this from November through March. Nope. We get our 7 to 10 days, and that's all we need. That's all we need. David says, hello to Manuel. Glass Bottle says 3 degrees in Wisconsin. Ooh. Gotta let me know, is it snowing or is it just really cold? Because I'm assuming that when it gets really cold like that, the snow or the cold rain comes with it, but maybe not. Maybe just getting cold is all you need. Sarah says good evening to Manuel. Manuel says to Glass Bottle, happy Saturday night. BB says, my finger seems better, but it's still pretty sore, so I honestly don't know. If it doesn't feel better by Monday, I'll probably have to check it out. Are you able to bend it? Can you bend your finger? I mean, I remember I did something one time. It was with a toe, I think it was, and I was told if you can bend it, it's not broken. So the two of us we say, everyone, please be careful with indoor heaters. Absolutely. Be safe, not fried. So say we both. Yes. Indoor heaters, very dangerous this time of year. Just be careful. Make sure you don't leave them unattended. I mean, that's the big thing. Don't leave them unattended. In the flea market, they have a rule against indoor heaters. You're not allowed to have one inside the units at all. So I don't have one. I have an air conditioning unit to keep my store cool during the hot days, and just pretty much I keep it running while I'm there just to have air circulating in the store. But I don't have a heater, so if you come in and it's a little cold, it's not going to get any better. But it's still nice. I'm one of the lucky people that there has a actual storefront, which means I have a wall with windows and a door, which means I'm closed off from the outside. So when you have heat or cold inside, it kind of stays there. So I'm lucky that way. David says it's 27 now. Tomorrow it's supposed to be 53. 53 doesn't sound bad. Jim says, Drew, that video about the scammer claiming the government is giving away free iPads was funny. Yeah, especially the fact that he kept saying I lied to him, even though I went back and I listened to the recording again. I never once lied. I gave him the number I gave him. I should say I gave him the fake number. That 4-digit number is just one I made up a long time ago, and it's just stuck in my head. 6138. I have no idea where that came from. That is not my last four of my social. I don't know what that number represents at all. It's a number I made up, and it's been stuck in my head ever since. They asked me for my PIN number at 6138. They asked me for my secret code at 6138. They asked me for my social security number, the last four, at 6138. I know that number by heart, so I don't know why that guy thought I was lying to him, but it was fun. It was a lot of fun. Glenn says, got a call from a medical company yesterday, answered as Betty. It turns out it was a real call I was expecting. Had to explain Betty answering the phone. It's all good. That has happened to me before, where if the number comes up unknown, or it just has a number, it doesn't say anything else. That's the reason why my wife has that rule with me. Every call I have to treat as if it's a potentially real call. It's only once I know it's a scam can I screw with them. And some of them, right away. Some of them, if there's a long pause before somebody says something, you're on your call's on a dialer, so that's 50-50 chance that it's somebody wanting to screw with you. But yeah, I have to behave. I have to behave when I get calls, because there are calls that come in that are absolutely legitimate. Very few and far between, but they happen. Christina says, it snowed in Miami in 1972. Really? That's a long time ago. Based on the fact that that's a year before my birth, that's 51 years ago. Wow. What about that global warming? Huh? Or global? It wasn't global warming. It was, what was it before global warming? It was like the next ice age was coming. It wasn't global freezing. It was something else. You guys know what I'm talking about. Yeah. Manuel says, we are 37 degrees. Feels like it's in the low 29 tonight. Okay. 29's not bad, but it's still freezing. So if you got plants outside, cover them up, or pets, make sure you bring them inside. Number one rule, don't leave the pets out. Manuel says, good evening to Christina. Bert says the iPhone call was awesome. Well, thank you. I've gotten some really great calls this past week. I've got lots and lots of recordings. As a matter of fact, last night I went ahead and set up Saturday's video and Sunday's video. So Sunday's video is already done and in the can and ready to go. So I'm not going to be staying up late tonight making a video, but I've got more recordings that can easily be made into videos. I've actually gotten 3 or 4 of the lottery scam ones where they call you and tell you won the lottery. Oh, I'm just having such a great time with those. I love screwing with them. And when I get the real guy on the line and I talk to him, it's entertaining. It's fun. But that'll be made into a video probably sometime next week. But I've had a lot of fun with those. So and then I have more. I have more to share. So I'm just look forward to more videos. There was a time pretty much between Christmas and New Year's where the calls slowed down to the point where I got worried that I wasn't going to get any more calls. Nope, picked right back up again. I think, what was it? It was either Monday or Tuesday. My phone registered 52 scam likely calls. Now, not all of them had somebody there. The majority of them were those ones where you pick it up, nobody's there, and then it hangs up. A lot of them were that, but at least my number is still being circulated, and they're still calling, which, hey, I love it. I don't mind. Tattle says, got a scam call about paying off loans. Don't have any. After hold, I was told leave a message. I did that they were violating the DNC. Same sent a text, hello, crank call, offering to help pay out loans off. I've gotten a couple. The majority of the ones I get about the paying off loans and all, I never answer the phone. It goes right to my voicemail and I get a message, because I'll have like 4 or 5 of them sitting in my voicemail. where it's the same call saying we sorry we missed you, and I'm like, if I see the call ringing, I'm going to answer. So I'm not sure how they get around that where they go right to your voicemail. There's got to be some way that they do that, but yeah, I get a lot of those too. Manuel says hello to births. Sarah says got solar panel call and debt collectors. I just hang up. Very good. BB says, ask them what the capital is of the state they're calling from. That's a good one. That's a good one. But I hate to tell you this. If I asked them that and they answered, I probably wouldn't know for sure if they were telling the truth. I'm horrible when it comes to states. I know Tallahassee's Florida's capital. Albany, I believe, is New York. And I'm lost on the rest of them. So the guy from Ohio, if he was able to spell Ohio and then I asked him what's the capital of Ohio, I probably couldn't tell you. I wouldn't know if he was telling the truth or not. No idea. Manuel says, Tattle, happy Saturday. Glenn says, do flex cards have hinges to better fit into your wallet? That's a good question. But they're definitely for flexing muscles. No muscles here. A lot of flab. No muscles. Jim says, I got a Medicare scam call Wednesday. I told the scammer my name was John Connor from Terminator, and he hung up. Now, that's funny. Now, the funny part would be if he knew what that name was and knew you were screwing with him, instead of just hanging up. Glass Bottle says, no snow, just cold. Okay. Clark says, I had a scammer spell the state he was supposed to be in was Arkansas. That's good. Manuel says, hi to Clark. BB says, I can, but it hurts when I do. Okay. Yeah, I'm not a medical doctor. I do not know this to be a fact, but I've been told that if you, because I've jammed fingers before and stubbed toes, that if you can bend them, then it's not broken. You wouldn't be able to bend your fingers or your toes if they were broken. So that's a little bit of a good thing, So, all right. BB says it's still pretty swollen and all bruised on the side. I'm so sorry. Please take care of it. Please take care, okay? And stay out of the cold, because I tell you what, if you hurt something in your body and you go out in the cold, it makes it 10 times worse. Everybody here knows what I'm talking about. So stay home and stay warm if you can. Tim says, I watched live on Patrol last night for the Twin Cities in Minnesota. It was just one above last night. Oh, wow. Very cold. Vicky and Benji says, I'm late, but I'm here. Well, welcome. Welcome, Vicky. Welcome, Benji. Berth says, I got a life insurance scam today who said he was in Miami, Florida. I asked him, did he live close to JFK Airport? And he said 25 minutes away. I don't think JFK is in Miami. I'm fairly certain that's in New York. I think I've been to that airport before. That's a good one. BB says, I hope people are all being careful with other types of heat sources, then don't get killed by carbon monoxide. That's another concern, is carbon monoxide. Oh, please, everybody out there who has to use some type of space heating unit, please be careful. Because I'm not sure what the actual numbers are, but I know that this time of year when it gets colder, there are house fires and there are deaths caused by those things, and it happens all the time, every year, all over the place. So everybody just be careful. Manuel says, hey, my friend Drew, where's Avery tonight? I know he's not feeling well. We think he had the coof, the sickness, and he's feeling better. But if he wasn't able to join, I knew everything would be okay. That's fine. Just get rest and relax and get better. But I know he is. He was telling me the other day, we were on a live stream call, I think Thursday, and he was saying that his sense of taste was coming back. So that's a good sign. But yeah, he's probably just tired. Hey, I understand. 'Tis the season, Manuel says, good evening to Vicky and Benji. B Bernie B says, Vicky and Benji scam bait, love your work. Vicky and Benji says hello to Manuel. Good evening. BB says, laugh out loud to Glenn. Manuel says, to be Bernie B, happy Saturday. Birth says, love your scheme, Vicky and Benji. Excellent, excellent. The two of us says, say we have to screen calls ourselves. We also get some for others, so we get them all. Well, I know I've told you guys this before. I get calls on my cell phone and my wife's cell phone. If she doesn't pick up like in 5 seconds, it forwards to me, so I get her calls as well. And then I also answer the house phone, so I've got 3 lines going on. And what's hilarious is when all 3 of them are ringing at the same time, and it has happened. It's happened before. Darlene's here. Hey, Darlene, how's it going? Says hi, everyone. Got several calls today, mostly political surveys. Yep. Actually, I don't think I got very many calls today at all. I know I got one that led to a good recording. It was a property one where they were calling to see if they could hook you up with a realtor to sell your property. I had a lot of fun with that one. That was a short call. It was only maybe 2 minutes long. I haven't checked the recording yet, but if it recorded well, I'll be making that into a video or part of a video because it was very entertaining. I had a lot of fun with this guy. Piece of crap guy, but I loved it. Vicky and Benji says, burst, thank you. Nigella's here. Hey, how's it going? Says good evening to Vicky and Benji. Vicky and Benji say good evening back. Christina says, did you get my message about the soliloquy? The soliloquy? I'm not sure what that is. Christina, I'm not 100% sure. I'll have to double check. I don't remember, but guys, I'll be honest with you. Sometimes I'm really far out of it. So if you guys send me a message, I try to get back and try to respond as soon as possible. But sometimes things go right over my head. But I'll check it out. I'll check it out, Christina. Thank you. Manuel says good evening to Nigella. The two of us says more swearing. I did call the guy today an a-hole. I did do that. So I'll have to edit that part out, but he did drop a couple F-bombs on me. So I mean, it was tit for tat. You know what I mean? Jim says good evening to Vicky and Benji. Vicky and Benji say good evening to Jim. Darlene says hi to Vicky and Benji. Love your videos. Vicky and Benji says thank you to Darlene. Manuel says, Drew, I watched the NFL game, Houston versus Ravens, 34-10. What's so funny about that is you guys know because Texans are in our division, I wasn't really happy about them going on to the next level of the playoffs. When I was leaving the store, it was halftime and it was 10-10. I'm like, man, the Ravens really need to pick it up. They need to crush Houston. They need to really, really crush them, and they did. So. No AFC or NFC, I forget, South in the Super Bowl this year. So it'll wait for the Jags to catch up. Christina says evening to Manuel. Manuel says happy Saturday to Darlene. David says Vicky and Benji scam betting. I just subscribed to your channel. Fantastic. Everybody, please do so. They say thank you to David. Darlene says good evening to Manuel. Jim says, Manuel, if the Packers in San Francisco are playing now, yes, I think that's who the tonight's game is. That should be a good one too. We'll see. The two of us say, yeah, years ago we had a caller LD box. When that was new, it stored 25 calls filled every day. I could believe it. Manuel says, I watched the NFL game tonight. Green Bay versus 49ers. Okay. Any prediction, Manuel? Packers, 49ers? What do you say? I have a friend whose husband is a 49er fan, so I'm going to go for the Packers just for the hell of it. Just to be a thorn in somebody's side. I don't think he'll care. I don't think he cares at all, but I'll go for the Packers just for the heck of it. David says to Vicky and Benji, sure, no problem. Gilbert's here. Hey, Gilbert, how's it going? Says, do scammers know a fart is a preemptive strike? That's funny. Sarah says, what is the capital of Connecticut? I have no idea. No idea. Please, somebody tell me. Manuel says hi to the two of us. Happy Saturday night. The two of us says back at you. So say they both. Darlene says Concord, New Hampshire. Okay. I think I knew that. But if if my life was on the line, I could not tell you what the capital of New Hampshire was. But I remember Concord. BB says, for the record, Columbus is the capital of Ohio. I think I knew that too. Thank you, BB. I think I knew that too. But once again, put me on, I would have to phone a friend. I would not be able to answer that question. I mean, if they gave me multiple choice and it was Columbus, Tallahassee, Albany, and San Francisco, I would have picked Columbus. I would have known that for sure. But just out of the blue, nope, horrible at that game. Sarah says, where's Avery? Probably not feeling well, so hopefully he's getting some rest. Vicky and Benji said it's cold here in Central Florida. Yeah, but it's not nearly as bad as the rest of the world or the rest of the country. I honestly, Central Florida, even Northern Florida, it's a pretty good place to be right now. So Ronald's here. Hey, Ronald, how's it going? Says hello, love your channel. Well, thank you. Thank you very much, Ronald. Appreciate you joining. Manuel says hi to Darlene. Tim says Columbus, Ohio is the capital. Okay. Ronald says, I get the same calls you do. Hi. Yeah, they haven't changed their scripts or their tactics in a long, long time. A lot of the calls I get are the same exact ones everybody gets. It's one of the reasons why I like doing this is for you all and for the people watching the videos to kind of get an idea of exactly what it is they're doing, Try to get an idea of the fact that, and I love it, guys, when I tick them off so bad that they curse, because if they were professional people doing professional work, they're not going to curse at you. They're probably going to hang up on you before they curse at you. But if you can get the scammer to curse at you, it's mwah, just wonderful. Chef's kiss. Manuel says hi to Ronald. BB says, thanks, Drew. I think I heard that too somewhere. Okay. Vicky and Benji says, people up north don't want to hear me complain about the cold. My coworkers, the majority of them are in New York. And whenever we start our calls and the first thing in the morning, they always talk about the weather. And they literally, I'll start to talk and they'll literally tell me, Andrew, shut up. We don't want to hear about it. We don't want to hear how it's 60 and beautiful in Florida, and I don't think they've gotten much snow up there just yet, at least where they live in New York. But it has gotten really cold. I don't think they've gotten a lot of snow yet. But they hate it when I bring it up. See a smile on my face? Guys, I've lived in Florida. My parents, my dad got stationed in Jacksonville when I was in elementary school. Then he got stationed in Pensacola. And then my dad retired. And that was around 8th grade for me. And my parents decided to move back to Jacksonville because they liked Jacksonville. And I've been here ever since. And that was, 8th grade, 6th grade, probably since about 4th grade. So probably since I was maybe 9 or 10 years old. So good 40 years here in Florida. Nope, I'm perfectly fine with it. Let's see what else is going on. Darlene says it was a high 10 degrees today. Oh boy. High of 10. Sorry, Darlene. You can keep that. You're more than welcome to come down here, but you can keep that up there. Ronald says same in Michigan. Okay, gotcha. David says 10 degrees is way too cold. Yeah. Ronald says that is cold. Manuel says we got lots of rain starting this Monday through Saturday. Oh boy. I hate that. I don't mind rain. It's that cold, biting rain that I hate. Luckily for us, it's right now, it's cold outside, quote unquote cold. It's cold for Florida, but it's not, we don't have the harsh winds. We don't have the rain. So that stuff will eventually come, but for right now, we don't have it. So that's good. Ronald says, hi, everyone. Welcome. Vicky and Benji says 3 lines. Wow. Well, my goal is to answer all of them, to answer all the calls. And the funny thing is, my mother-in-law, she usually has a phone next to her, whether she's in the bedroom or in the living room or wherever. And when the phone starts to ring, she lets it ring for 3 rings before she'll answer it, because she gives me an opportunity to answer it first. But if the phone's on the other side of the room or in another room, and I've got to go run for it, after the 3rd ring, she will answer it. And I'm like, does it say scam on the phone? Well, yeah. Then why did you pick up the... She's very frustrating, but that's okay. She actually got a call the other day when I was actually, we were talking, chit-chatting about something. Her phone starts ringing, and she goes, it's another scam. And she answers it, and it was one of the lottery ones. I'm like, give me that phone. I'm going to go record this one. And I recorded the call. It was pretty funny. The guy knew her by name because he had called her before. And I was like, yeah, that's me. You've talked to me before? Yeah. Where's my money? David says, I hope Avery feels better soon. Yep. I know he's on the mend. Let's just put it that way. He's on the other side of it. I mean, sometimes it takes a while, pretty much for everybody. You get the ramp up to feeling sick, then you have the miserable stuff, and then you have the ramp down. He's on the ramp down. I know it. But I'll let him know that you all said hi and asked about him. Ronald says, nice to meet everyone. Well, welcome. Once again, welcome. Birth says, you should ask them something like, what's the state flower if they claim to be in, or the nickname. For example, Missouri is the show me state, and we're the city of fountains. See, but I wouldn't know that. I'm pretty sure Florida is the sunshine state. I haven't a clue what flower we are. What's our flower? You'd think our bird would be the flamingo, but I know it's not. I know for a fact it's not, but I have no idea what it is. See, that would be a bad question. I think just asking them to spell the state is hilarious, especially when they can't do it. Jim says, good evening to Ronald. Manuel says to Vicky and Benji, I watched all videos. I love it. To waste the time of the scammers. Fantastic. They say they appreciate it. Excellent. BB says, I got one call today, but no one answered. A bunch yesterday, but missed a few. Didn't really give them a chance to say much of anything. It happens. Yeah, when I'm in the store on the weekends, I don't always get to the phone in time because I'm either talking to customers or I'm doing something. But when I do get to the phone, 90% of the time it's just a hang up. But the one I got today, the property one, it was funny. I had a good time with that one. Tattle's here. Hey, Tattle says, when scammer refused to answer my questions and tell me I'm wasting their time, I take it as a compliment. I point out that if they'd answered mine, we could move on. I always remind them they called me. You know, it's not like I called them to waste their time. They called me. So if I'm wasting their time, it's wonderful. Ronald says, thank you. I'm retired Navy. Well, fantastic. My dad's a retired Navy as well. He was in for, I think he was in 21 or 22 years, then medically retired. He had a medical condition that he retired. He went back to college, got his degree, and then went back to work as a civilian for the Navy, and ended up working for them for like another 20 plus years. He just recently retired. Was it last year? I think so. At 77, he retired. But yep, longtime Navy family. So, well, thank you, Ronald, for your service. Absolutely. Glenn says, sell my house. Sure. 3.2 million firm. Perfect. That's exactly what you tell them. 3.2. I always say 3.1 to 3.2. I mean, come on. I'm not going to haggle over that 0.1, you know. But yeah, that's my number. Manuel says, you're very welcome. Michael's here. Hey, Michael, how's it going? Says, do you have more than 2 phones to answer the phone calls? Well, no, my cell phone gets calls, of course, and then my wife's number just forwards to me after 5 rings or 5 seconds. So it's just one phone. But then of course, like I said, we have the house phone as well. The house phone's a piece of crap. There's times I'll answer it and it'll say out of service or out of range or something. It just ticks me off. But I don't get a lot of scam calls on the home phone, even though most of the calls that come on that line are scams. But still, love messing with them. Christina says, it is a diabetic med better than insulin. Dropped my blood sugars from 309s to 120s. Yes, okay. Now I remember. Yes, I did see that message. And to be honest with you, my biggest problem is just simply remembering to take the medicines I'm supposed to take when I'm supposed to take them. I check my blood sugar 3 times a day, and then I'm supposed to follow that up with insulin. And sometimes I forget. And sometimes I'll go a couple of days without taking my insulin. Listen, when I'm doing what I'm supposed to, checking my blood sugars, taking my insulin, taking my pills at the end of the night, when my numbers have been great. I think this morning my high was like 118. I mean, I was kicking butt, but it's because I remembered to actually take them. I told you guys I'm not very smart, but I appreciate it. Ronald says, I was a CB. Okay, excellent. My dad, he worked, he was a master at arms, and in his last station in Pensacola, I don't think he worked with the one thing when I was a kid that I thought was awesome was my dad worked with the lady who had the drug sniffing dog. So he worked with the MPs, even though I don't think he was an MP. Master at Arms was the one title I remember. I know he was a chief at one point. I don't know. I really never got into what his military career was. And to be honest with you, when he got out, he was happy about being out. So it wasn't, he never wanted to be a lifer in the military, but one of these days I'll actually have to sit down with him and go into detail exactly what the hell it is he did. But the thing, I mentioned this to Avery before, that it was many, many, many years after he had retired that my sister and I found out that he carried a gun for his duties. And every day when he came home, he took the gun and locked it up in the closet. We never even knew he carried one. Had no idea. Turns out my dad had a whole nother life in his military career. But he worked with the MPs and he worked with the drug, because when he was stationed on the Saratoga at one point, which is an aircraft carrier. I got to do, when I was 8 or 9, a Tiger cruise, which meant I flew over to Spain and then was on the Saratoga on its way back to Jacksonville, and I got to hang out with him the entire week while we were there. And he, of course, worked with all the people that were the MPs and the drug sniffing dogs. And I thought that was awesome. That was the greatest thing. Got to visit the brig, got to hang out in the brig for a while. I actually got locked in the brig a couple of times because, pain in the ass kid. But yeah, what he actually did, I have no idea. But he was associated with all that stuff. So yeah. Shows what I know. I'm an idiot. Manuel says, Michael, happy Saturday. June's here. Hey, June, how's it going? Says, when I get a number that I do not know, I answer matter. Okay. Yes. People ask me, says, why do you answer calls that you don't recognize the numbers? It's because those are the good ones. Those are the ones I like. Ronald says, laugh out loud. Vicky and Benji says, I wish the Colts were still in. Oh, sorry. The Colts are gone. Jags gone. Titans gone. And now the Texans are gone. Next year. Hey, Vicky, Benji, as every Jaguar fan knows, there's always a saying that you can always fall back on. There's always next year. We only been saying that for 20 years, so yeah. Manuel says 49ers to win. Okay, well then I'm going Packers, and we'll see who comes out on top, okay? Good job. Ronald says hi and welcome. Jim says, I am sad my Eagles were kicked out of the playoffs. Yeah, I have family in Pennsylvania that are big Eagles fans, and I don't have any dog in that fight, but yeah, that's kind of sad. The Eagles are out. Sarah says the capital is Hartford. Okay, Hartford. I probably couldn't have pulled that out of my butt at all. I would never have known. Darlene says Hartford, Connecticut. Okay. Ronald says that is true. Hey, Pez is here. Hey, good morning, Pez. Says good day, Drew and everyone. Hope you all are doing well today. Absolutely fantastic, my friend. Manuel says good morning to Pez. Happy Saturday. Glenn says, Alexa, what is the capital of Connecticut? Hartford. Okay, very good. Ronald says hi to Pez. BB says, Drew, about the capitals, I have problems with some of them as well. I probably could name 3. And Hartford's now one of them. But the rest of them, I don't know why Albany sticks in my head. I've never lived in New York. I think it's just because that's one of the fake addresses that the Amazon scammers always give is Albany, New York. So it's one of the reasons why I know that. But yeah, What's the capital of Texas? Is it Houston? I have no idea. I would, guys, if you're ever in a situation where you have to call a friend and it comes to state capitals, please do not call me because I will not be able to help you. Jim says good evening to Pez. Ronald says I tell them off. Very good. June says I answer unknown numbers from Matter Chode Investigations. Matter Chode Investigations. Okay. Vicky and Benji says we have to expose these scammers as much as possible. Ronald says LOL. Pez says good day to Ronald. Vicky and Benji say LOL. Ronald says I'm in Michigan. Okay, what's the capital of Michigan? Ronald. So we know. Pez says good day to Jim. BB says to Vicky and Benji, I think I watched at least one of your videos today. Fantastic. Ronald says, hi, nice to meet you. Vicky and Benji says, for the record, it's 45 right now. See, 45, even that's not bad. I'd still wear shorts in 45, you know? Maybe a sweater, but I'd wear shorts. As long as it's not like heavy rain or wind, you know? You can get away with that. Ronald says, nice to meet an Aussie. I'm assuming he's talking about Pez. Vicky and Benji says, BBO cool. Brent's here. Hey, Brent, how's it going? Says we got to 68 here today in Phoenix. See, 68 is nice. 68 is nice. Ronald says, good day. Sarah says, I love the cold. Yeah, I am much preferential to cold than to hot, because they always say in the cold you can always add layers on. In the heat, there's only so much you can take off, you know. Definitely true. Pez says good day to Manuel. Adam's here. Hey, Adam. Hell, welcome. Says New Jersey, not much better. Okay. Darlene says I answer some with State Fraud Department. Hey, may I help you? Very good. Manuel says Brent, happy Saturday. Vicky and Benji says LOL. Manuel says Adam, happy Saturday. Pez says Manuel, hope you're doing well today, mate. Manuel says I'm doing good on a Saturday night. Fantastic. Plus it's playoff Saturday, so you got games going on. BB says we'll be up to a whopping 54 degrees by Thursday. But it comes with rain. Oh, yeah. Cold and rain, not always a good combination. Ronald says I'm getting new tweets. Okay, I'm getting new. I think he says tweets is what he means. Tattle says when a scammer tries to confirm my address, I tell them that's my old one and moved over a year ago. I ask why their records are so out of date and won't answer their questions until they answer mine. Very good. I forgot who did. Somebody had told me about a website. It was on one of the live streams in which you can do it's not a Google search, but it's a search through public records or something, and it'll tell you all the names and addresses associated with your phone number. And I was shocked at how many wrong addresses and wrong names were associated with my number. Not that I mind, because when they call, and you never know who they're calling for. And I'll be honest with you, whenever they say a name, even if I'm not familiar with the name, I said, yeah, of course, that's me. Yeah. That's how Carl Walters came to be. They asked for Carl. I said, yeah, I'm Carl. Sure. Whatever. Manuel says, I pray for Avery getting better soon. I'll let him know. BB says to Births, yes, these are good things to ask as well. The two of us says to Vicky and Benji, you are new to the two of us. We will be viewing your content, so say we both. Excellent. Ronald says hi. Manuel says to Vicky and Benji, watching the live game. Vicky and Benji says the two of us, so say we all. Absolutely. Adam says, I give them the Board of Social Services in Trenton, New Jersey's address. Oh, that's a good one. The address I give them, the 611 East Adams Street, that is for the largest and main homeless shelter in downtown Jacksonville. I'm assuming they may get a lot of mail from, who knows? I'm hoping they just throw it out, but you never know. Vicky and Benji says, Emmanuel, my Colts are out of it. Yep, they are. Ronald says, I tell the scammers I'm a cop. Does that help? Does that freak them out and make them hang up? Christina says, state reptile for Florida is between Burmese python and iguana. And the funny thing is, Burmese python is not native to Florida. Those damn things came in because somebody let one go in the wild, which is crazy, but yeah. Sarah says the state bird for northern. Wait a minute. The state bird is the northern mockingbird for Florida. Really? The northern mockingbird. Wow. I did not know. I knew it wasn't the flamingo. My mother-in-law would love it to be the flamingo, but I knew it wasn't. Pez says, sorry, Manuel, I misspelled your name, mate. Oh, it's all right. Hey, Winona's here. Hey, Winona says, hey, all, I'm here. Well, welcome to the show. Glad to have you. Manuel says, my friend, I don't watch your videos this morning. I'm very sorry. That's okay. Get to it when you can, Muzamil says, hi, how you doing? Fantastic. Welcome to the show. Manuel says, happy Saturday. Vicky and Benji say, go Navy. My daddy was a Navy vet. Excellent. Sarah says, thanks for your service, Ronald. Absolutely. Christina says, laugh out loud, June. Ronald says, nice. I was a CB. Okay. Burr says, one scam baiter asked a scammer who claimed to be from San Francisco if he was on Mountain Standard or Central Time. Anyone with common sense knows that it's neither, but the scammer said Central. Yeah, aren't they on the Pacific Time? I'm pretty sure it's Pacific Time in California. Pez says, I'm an ex-Army trooper, Rule 4th 19th. Excellent, Pez. Winona says, wouldn't it be fun for you to be eating all through the call? They consider that to be a huge disrespect. I will have to keep that in mind. The only problem with it is I usually try to be on camera, and you guys don't want to sit there and watch me eat. I could pretend to be eating, like, oh, so sorry. Even that's not. Yeah, I know. Anita says hi to Manuel. Welcome to the show, Anita. Glenn says, my dad was in the Army, and he was stationed at Pearl Harbor when it was attacked. He never spoke about it except that he was on shore in the barracks when they were attacking. Holy crap. Wow, Glenn, that's incredible. Anita says hi to Vicky. Manuel says, I go see my dog appointment this past Thursday afternoon about my... Okay, let me reread that with what I think is the correct words. I go to see my doctor's appointment this past Thursday afternoon about my sleep apnea. I'm doing a 0.1% good. Okay. Vicky and Benji says hello to Anita. Sarah says, my dad was a colonel in the Army. Okay. Christina says, I have CRS. CRS, I'm not sure what that is. CRS. Something syndrome, maybe. Ronald says, do that. Manuel says, Anita, hi, happy Saturday night. Tattle says, when scammers tell me where they are, I sometimes ask for the temperature. Almost 100% of them tell me it's Celsius. I tell them I know you're lying about being in the U.S., and they won't say how I know. You can trip them up sometimes with very simple questions. I always find it funny how they panic when you ask them something like that, you know? Muzamil says, sir, it's not a scam. It's a business, and they will find a customer connection in your area. Muzamil, you're full of crap, buddy. I can't even tell you how many calls I've gotten where people want to defend them and say, oh, it's not a scam. It's not a scam. And then all of a sudden they start cursing at you and telling you they're going to go F your mom and stuff like that. So, yeah, I don't think so. Yeah, these people are nothing but scammers. Please, please, please do me a favor and try not to defend evil. You know what I mean? Don't defend evil. Ronald says, nice. Darlene says, my father and 2 older brothers were in World War II. They had to parachute into Normandy Beach. Holy crap. That's wow. Hey, absolutely fantastic that they, served. That's great. But wow, that's a lot. Father and 2 brothers. Wow. BB says, how's your kitty? Do you have 1 or 2 cats? I have just 1, but used to have 2. Well, we actually have 3. We have my wife's cat, Benji, who I've nicknamed Big Butt because he can't walk into a room without knocking stuff over. Then there's Regal, she's kind of my cat. She's kind of claimed me, but she's technically my wife's cat. She's actually laying down on the box right here, being nice and quiet and wonderful. And then, of course, we have Betsy, also known as the Monster, which is my mother-in-law's cat. She's out there somewhere right now. I just know she's out there, but she ain't coming in here because she has no coof when it comes to personal space. She will jump up here and be right here in my desk, and she will lay on the keyboard. She will be, but we love her. Ronald says, same with the Pats. Yes, the Pats are out of it too. Manuel says, my sugar levels were at 128 this morning. I checked again this afternoon, stayed 128. That's not bad. That's in my doctor's acceptable range for me. 125 is within the acceptable range. So the 2 of us say, going to have to call it an evening, Drew and gang. We look forward to seeing you all again. Good night. So say we both. I know you're probably already gone, but thank you so much for joining, and I appreciate it. Thank you very much, you two. Let's see. Adam says, whether you answer them or not, they'll just call and call and call. Might as well mess with them. Absolutely. I had a scammer one time. I told him to stop calling me, and he says, we'll never stop calling you. And my response was, okay, well, then I'm never going to stop screwing with you. 4 or 5 years later, we're still doing it. Yeah, I know. It's crazy how often they call. Manuel says, June, happy Saturday night. June says, PBR and NASCAR. Okay. Ronald says, yes. Tim says, Frankfurt is capital of Kentucky. Okay. I would have never have guessed that. Nope, not in a million years. And Tattle says, Austin, Texas. Okay, so I knew I was wrong. It's not Houston, Austin. Burst says, being that I have relatives in every corner of Florida, I've been all over Florida and go 3 times a year. I asked one scammer, how long does it take him to get to Tallahassee from Miami? 25 minutes. That's because he's a Superman. He's a superhuman and can fly. That's the only way you get from Tallahassee to Miami in 25 minutes. BB says, I think it might be Austin, but not positive about that. Okay. Okay, so here we go. Everybody's chiming in about Texas. Austin, says Sarah. Manuel says, we keep same coach. Okay. Burst says, all right, then I said. Jim says, I wonder if those scammers try to call and scam those people in China, Japan, and Korea. I'm sure they do. I'm sure they get some type of scam calls, but I think they target the U.S. the most because for some reason, they think everybody in America is rich and has disposable money that they can just give away to scammers, and it won't affect anything. It won't bother us at all. So that's one of the reasons why they target Americans so much. So BB says it is awesome. I just Googled it. Fantastic. Ronald says Lansing. Okay, Lansing. Glenn says Austin, Texas. I've been there. Building designed by the same architect as Denver, Colorado. Okay. Adam says 24 degrees here in New Jersey. Oh, I see. That's a little chilly. Jim says, Adam, 25 degrees over here in North Jersey. Okay. BB says, I know about New Jersey getting cold. I used to live there. Yeah, I lived there as a kid. We didn't live there very long. Newark, New Jersey, I think is where we lived. I remember snow for one Christmas, but that was a very, very long. And I remember making a snowball and getting in trouble for throwing it at my sister and hitting her in the face with it. Oops. It happens. Ronald says, love it. Conservative coin collector says, oh no, the Buffalo Bills are winning this year. Oh, well, hey, there's nothing wrong with that. I have a family, a friend of the family who's a Bills fan. So whenever we're not playing the Bills, I'm more than willing to cheer for them. So as long as they're not playing the Jags. Vicky and Benji says, when I get a call and they ask for Penny or Penelope, I know it's a scammer. Okay. Yeah, I get Herschel, Timothy, Eugene, Carl, James. They ask for those, any of those five. I know it's a scammer. So Manuel says, conservative, happy Saturday night. Vicky and Benji say, Drew, you should call that homeless shelter and see if they've got that free tablet. I should tell them I thought it was being sent to the wrong place. See if they got it. I wonder if they've got a couple of them. It's always a good possibility. Ronald says yes. BB says, I'm surprised that the state animal of Florida isn't a gator. Yeah, I don't know if we have a state animal or not, but I know there's a bird, but I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure it's not a gator. Manuel says to Vicky and Benji, awesome job. Christina says iguanas are not native either. Oh, they're not. Okay. Well, I knew the pythons were not. Christina says, good for you, Manuel. Ronald says, you're very welcome. Manuel says, Winona, happy Saturday night. Christina says, can't remember crap. Yep, I understand. Vicky and Benji says, please don't defend the scammers. They are not just doing their job. Amen. Christina says, June professional bull riders. Okay. Ronald says, nice. I love cats. Vicky and Benji say, kitty named Benji. Cool. Yep. He has a brother named Poe, who is my son's cat. When my son got, I forgot if it was a raise or a promotion at his job, he had told his mother, when this happens, I want to get a pet cat. And when it happened, the two of them went to, it was an adoption from not the Salvation Army, the one that does pets. And they found two brothers, and they said, we don't want to separate them. So my wife said, okay, I'll take one. And my son said, I'll take the other. So we brought both of them home. And Poe lives with my son, of course. And Benji, of course, lives with us. But they're brothers. And Poe has been here before. He comes over to the house, but he's always scared and he always hides. It takes him about a day and a half to get used to being here. But, yeah, he's a good cat. BB says, oh, thanks for telling me about the kittens. Oh, yes, they're wonderful. Especially Regal. Regal is the one that's my favorite. She's the one that's sleeping on the box right next to me that's being nice and quiet and calm and wonderful. I don't even want to touch her because that'll wake her up, but she's wonderful. Ronald says, I go to the shelter and cuddle cats. I don't think I could do that because I'd want to bring them home, and I can't do that. Manuel says, oh, wow, Kitty Benji, cool name, Vicky Benji. Yep. Tattle says, If they're not scammers, then why do they lie about their name and where they are from? Yes. And why do they hide their number? Why do they spoof other people's numbers? You know, they do it so often and everybody knows it. Winona says, you shouldn't talk about your mother-in-law like that. Oh, I must have said something bad. She's wonderful. I love her. Manuel says, hey, my Betsy is a good kitten. Yes, she is a good kitten. She's a pain in the ass, but she's a good kitten. Burst says, I find when I question them about even something minor, scammers get leery and refuse to answer. For example, when I ask what the name of the company is, the scammers typically won't tell you. I love asking them to repeat stuff because it pisses them off and they hate doing it. Vicky and Benji says, I have a friend that lives in Wayne, New Jersey. Okay, Wayne. I don't think I've ever been to Wayne, New Jersey. So, Vicky Chandler says, good evening, all. Welcome to the show, Vicky. Charles is here, says, hey, man. Welcome, Charles. Darlene says, snow is still white and cold. Laugh out loud. Okay. Ronald says, evening. Manuel says, Vicky, happy Saturday night. Charles says, cold here in North Carolina. Okay. Is it snowing? I always ask about... You guys probably notice I always ask about snow simply because it's not something I get to experience. So I always ask people about it. If you're getting snow, if you got snow, if you're going to get snow. Manuel says, Charles, happy Saturday. Glenn says, tomorrow, last day of National Western Stock Show in Denver. Okay. Charles says, in the teens tonight. All right. Stay warm in North Carolina. Okay. Manuel says, I live in New Jersey, my friend Vicky and Benji, long time ago with my family. Birth says, every state has a state animal. Really? I know they had state birds, but I didn't know they had a state animal. I assume. I wonder if the state animal of Florida is the armadillo. We have a lot of armadillo. We have a lot of raccoons too, and squirrels. Do you know what else we have a lot of bird-wise? Is those damn Canadian geeses. We got lots of those things running around. Vicky and Benji says, cool to Manuel. Sarah says, the panther is the state animal of Florida. Really? Really? I did not know that. I don't think I've ever seen a panther in Florida anywhere. Seen lots of armadillos and lots of Canadian geese. Haven't seen a panther, but... that does kind of sound right. Darlene says, we had cats mostly for our married life. We also had a dachshund for a couple of years. Unfortunately, he got very sick about 10 years ago. Very sorry. Very, very sad to hear about that. Ronald says, we have a foot of snow. Oh boy, a foot. Does that require shoveling? Something I have never done, but I've heard about it. I know there are shovels made specifically for the snow. Vicky says, my favorite new thing to mess with them is to do the robo voice. Congratulations, you are today's 10th caller and have won a prize. Please leave your name and address after the tone so that we can send it to you. That's a good one. Pennsylvania has the white-tailed deer. Okay, excellent. Jim says, my friend in Pennsylvania has a cat named Seamus. The cat gets into everything and picks fights with the dogs. That sounds like a cat. Charles says, I got a lot of Medicare Z scam calls. Get a lot of... I think the Medicare ones have started to slow back down again, and they've started back up again with all the other ones. The final expense insurance, the Social Security one. I got one of those just recently. So they don't ever give up. Winona sends smiley faces. Tim says, we had a dusting of snow here just south of me, but there is more. Okay. Christina says, Glenn saw my first Chanina. They are absolutely smitten. Okay. Ronald says, we have wolves. Oh, boy. Yeah, I'm fairly certain we have wolves here in Florida, too, but that's another thing I've never, ever seen. Not in the wild, at least. Not in the wild. Vicky and Benji said there must be a panther cougar somewhere here. Most likely there is. I've just never seen one in the wild. You know, I think the closest thing, a bobcat. I think I've seen a bobcat in the wild, but that's it. Not a panther. Never seen a panther. Ronald says yes. Michael's here, says thank you for answering my question. Oh, okay, no problem. Did I? I don't remember. Sorry, Michael. Vicky says snow sucks. That's what I've been told. David says I'm allergic to cats. Oh no. Ronald says I have a snow blower. Oh, okay. No need for an actual shovel if you got a snow blower. I have a leaf blower. Does that count? BB says we only have a few inches of snow here in Ohio. Didn't get any today, but some yesterday. Okay. Vicky says, laugh out loud, I'm 21 years old, online boy toy, lives in Florida, and I want to come visit PA so he can shovel. Have at it, dude. Charles says the scammers definitely target older people. Oh, yeah, and they tell you that. They tell you they're calling for people, senior citizens. They're calling for people that, they're calling to the elderly people. That's exactly who they're targeting. Yeah, they're not shy about that at all. Darlene says, I'm shoveling a 50-foot driveway. I won't have a snowblower. Try shoveling a 50-foot driveway. We don't have a snowblower. Okay. No, I think I would just stay home if that happened. I'd wait till it melted. Ronald says, laugh out loud. Burr says you can always play on the fact that they may be speaking English to you, but the comprehension is not great. That is true. And you see me, I have a hard time just speaking, just words coming out of my mouth. Jim says, we got a snow thrower and a snow blower. What the hell is a snow thrower? Ronald says, ouch. Skipped one. Vicky says scammers definitely target older people. I have scammers ask how old I am all the time. Vicky says I saw a neighbor using a leaf blower on the snow the other day. Very clever. Christina says I have friends that have 2 panthers that could not be released back into the wild because of injuries. Really? Wow. I wonder how big they get. Tim says before I retire, I shoveled snow with a tractor. Says that's kind of like using the leaf blower to sweep the front porch. It's kind of cheating, But hey, work smarter, not harder, Jim says snow throwers have the blades that propel the snow forward. Really? Holy crap! I don't think I've ever heard of anything like that. Why would I need one? But it has blades that propels the snow. Wow. Okay. David says, be sure to click the thumbs up. Oh, yeah. If you get an opportunity to do that, that'd be great. Glenn says, why would I have Medicare? I'm only 23. Click. Yeah. Burst says they're starting to target younger people also. Well, they call younger people, but sometimes it's like my son. He's just turned 30 and he gets Social Security Medicare calls all the time. And that's because probably his number was associated with people in our family that have Medicare. And that's why. But they've actually asked for him by name, which is crazy. So, conservative says Buffalo has several feet of snow. Snowblowers are a necessity. Oh, boy. Ronald says same. And Christina says about the same size as a German Shepherd. Okay. All right, guys. I thank you all for joining me this evening. We're a little over an hour, and I've caught up on the chat. Hot dang. Oh. So I'm going to go tell the wife. Tonight's episode involved the weather, snow, temperature, and state capitals. She always gets a kick out of what we talk about. And I said, I just go where the conversation goes. But asking your scammer what is the capital of their state is a fantastic question to ask. But if you don't know what it is, be ready to Google it. All right, everybody. I hope you all have a fantastic weekend, the rest of your weekend. I hope you all have a safe and fantastic week. Please stay home. Please stay bundled up. Stay warm. Try not to go outside too often and get frozen because some of you live in places where I don't want to be anywhere near. But everybody take care. Be safe, and we'll see you next time. And trust me, there's more calls coming. There's more videos coming. They don't stop, and I love it. I appreciate it thoroughly that they never stop calling. And remember, as always, if you get calls like the ones I get, either hang up on them or screw with them like I do. And as we always say, if you do screw with them, record it and share it with everybody. Remember the golden rule: screw and share. Avery always gets a kick out of that. All right, guys, enjoy.